Sadly, this will probably be the ending for the ripoff series. The ending. Is it safe to come out now? Well, howdy there, folks. I hope you've been doing real well. I'm sure you can tell that clip aged like fine wine. And last time I did say that ripoff was going to be the last one I covered, but I lied. But this time we're going to change it up. This time we have not one, but two ripoffs to take a look at. Allow me to introduce you to Glory Emblem and Hero Emblem. Both completely different in how they function, but both of them still trying to funnel money off of Nintendo somehow. So let's start off with Hero Emblem, and let me just say this one has a special place in my heart because, oh boy, it has a certain edge that other mobile ripoffs just don't have. And lucky for you, I recorded it all on VHS, which is to say we don't have a budget. So yeah, sorry about that. Enough about that though, let's actually get to this segment, shall we? Now, I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen mobile game ads, be it on social media or maybe even hell, right in front of this video that you're watching right now. These ads tend to be outrageous. Sometimes they're there just to try and bait you into playing, other times they're outright lies to what exactly the game is all about. And the delightful part is that Hero Emblem did in fact have an ad blitz, and we actually have several of the ads. I picked out 3 just for us to take a look at. I want you guys to watch these ads and try to get an idea of what this game is going to be about. Hopefully, we can get some understanding before we actually dive in. So our first ad is simply called Hero Emblem, and already I can tell this is going to be an absolute treat. So I'll let it speak for itself. I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright, I'll just be honest here, guys, the zoom-ins were on my part. I just had to show that off. Because the only real takeaway from this ad is the look on that clip art horse's face as it's being dragged in. Never have I seen a better representation of my actual face when I saw this ad. It's going to haunt me for nights on end. Our next clip is unfortunately titled Hero Emblem as well, and I don't think I really have to tell you too much. Let's just let it speak for itself, shall we? And there you go, folks. A simple lesson for how to sell a mobile game. Just get some stock footage of a woman sleeping, a little bit of something going on the top screen, wham, bam, done. You have sold your first mobile game. My guess, at least from what I can tell, is that this is supposed to be an advertisement to show you that this game will play itself. And when it does, you'll level up, you'll gain power, you'll become strong. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, guys, because none of this, what you're seeing right now, is actually true. Instead, I actually went in and I decided to make a more respectable ad using some stock footage of a woman doing what you will most likely be doing to actually gain power in this game. Yep, that seems about right. Definitely fix this ad. Let's move on to the next one. And now, my friends, it's time for the final ad, but that doesn't make it the least of them all. Oh no, this is by far my favorite. I'm sure if any of you have actually played any gacha mobile game, you may be familiar with the practice that a lot of them do, where these companies have an excuse to make a new trailer featuring a new character or a new seasonal variant of some form or fashion just to try to sell it to you to make more money. And wouldn't you know it, Hero Emblem is going to try to do just that. So let's take a look at what's coming to Hero Emblem, shall we? Oh no, what in the did I just watch? Okay, we have a lot to unpack here, but let's just start with the obvious one here. You named your character Ebonix. I mean, I know English may not be your first language here, but you may want to sound it out or at least try to look for something similar, because I can't wait for the slew of other original characters that are all based on dialects at this point. And for the last point, I think we need to broaden our horizons, guys. Maybe get rid of these black bars that are surrounding our perspective and get a better look of what exactly is going wrong here. I don't think I have to tell you guys right now that this gameplay that you're seeing here is a complete farce. In fact, it is directly taken from Fire Emblem Heroes. And then when you start to scrub through the actual footage, you start to realize that, and I can't believe I'm actually having to say this, but you can see the character sprite from Fire Emblem Heroes behind the supposed original character. In fact, all they did with this footage was just blow it up and put in their original character sprites through post-processing. I cannot believe this. Just to give you a bit of perspective, here is what the actual gameplay would look like from Heroes. I do not understand how this actually happened. Someone actually thought this was a good idea. But there is some good news, guys. I do have an exclusive. I know what the next hero is going to be added in Hero Emblem. It's Batman.
Oh, good for you.
So I guess it's time to start the actual ripoff. Let's see what we got here. Ah, yes, this old chestnut. One thing to note, if you've seen previous videos in this series, the login screen for these ripoffs are always the same. It honestly reminds me of the old SNES days with like the Nintendo seal of approval, but you know, a lot more crappy. And no, I will not be logging in through Facebook, thank you very much. Once we've gone through and picked a server that fits, we get to watch an introduction. And I just gotta say, it's actually pretty well done considering. We're introduced to the main villain of this game, that of course being Cert. I'm not entirely sure who stole the R in his name, but well, we'll worry about that later. But I'll just admit, I'm actually quite digging the whole comic book aesthetic. Wait a second, is that Zelda? I'm not entirely surprised that this popped up in this game, but I will say I'm quite surprised with how damn thick she is. This whole introduction has just left me befuddled. But we really don't have time to question this because before we know it, we're thrust back into the game with this. A paragraph, a name input, and what I can only assume is a stolen asset. We're just going to ignore that and instead meet the rebellion leader that's going against Cert, as it proudly announces Iker is coming to battle. Really? That's the wealth of creativity we're going with right now? I'm sorry, give me a second, I need to get in here. Ah! That could have gone better. But now that I can actually see Iker up close, I'm just gonna say, this really does remind me. Yeah, it doesn't look like they really even tried at all. Well, that kinda sucks. At least we know where Surtur's R went. Iker here stole it. Well, now that that mystery is solved, let's get this crap off the screen, shall we? Wait, what? Just finally we actually get gameplay, and our first tutorial boss is Cert. Oh, I don't like where this is going. Okay, well, you just introduced him about a minute ago. I'm sure this is gonna be one of those. And he's dead. All right, well, you know, all in all, this game wasn't terrible. It was pretty short. Oh, who am I kidding? We're still in this actual hell even with the big baddie dead. Hero Emblem is summed up perfectly well within that first tutorial battle. Short, confusing, and chances are something is on fire. And you may be asking, what is the gameplay? Well, that tutorial also showed you that. That wasn't a guided experience, friends. No, that was the gameplay loop. In fact, this is the whole game. Hero Emblem doesn't really do much. It just throws you to the wolves, tells you to make a team, and then you just watch them duke it out without any of your real input. It's a lazy man's attempt at Langrisser more than actual Fire Emblem. Thank God there might be something to customize, right? Gambling maybe too? Alright, let's just be clear here, folks. When it comes to gacha games, usually what it's all about is collecting that cute anime guy or gal and wrecking shop. Hero Emblem doesn't even really try with that either. I mean, yes, it does have characters and sprites and everything that you can imagine when it comes to collecting them, but it really lacks the oomph when it comes to presentation. Usually, these games tend to have some form of feedback, a cool animation or special effect to let you know that you actually got something cool. Not so much here. Instead, when you summon, it just kind of spits characters out. Instead, you don't really get much else other than generic characters like Lady Shay or Spear Guy. Hold that thought, just give me 1 second. I am totally a simp for Spear Guy. Sorry, not sorry. But don't worry, it's not only characters you'll be summoning for, but also weapons and armor too. And it will clog the hell out of your inventory. And with all of these, of course, you'll be enhancing your characters by equipping them, and also leveling up both your character and their abilities. In fact, chances are you'll be in these menus a lot more than actually doing anything, gameplay related. And that is because it's encouraged that you actually use the autoplay feature, meaning that it goes through all of the quote-unquote story mode for you. So you don't have to mess with any of that ew, gross gameplay. No, thank you. Instead, why don't you spend some money at all of our pristine shops that we have set up? And no, I'm not joking when I say that. There are like 5 menus, all of which lead to different shops. And all of them want you to spend real money. So much money that they have a VIP system built around it. Spend a bunch of money and you too can have your picture right here on the Wall of Fame. Hey, I never said fame wouldn't be costly, now did I? The VIP system also locks you out of certain features. Normal features, like badge claiming items out of your menu, or even getting things earlier than you would in the game. Want to gain access to some in-game content? Don't worry, just drop a hundo and you're good to go. It's honestly so flagrant that it just makes my head spin. And I've spent money on subscription services in mobile games. But if none of this delights you, why not try a game of soccer? Or maybe a board game? But if all of that really gets boring to you, you can always try my favorite game within this game, Spot the Copyright. Ooh, there's the first one. It's Julia from Fire Emblem Heroes, only in this game, she's a redhead. And it doesn't stop there. They stop putting in effort everywhere. Just look at all of the amount of artwork they stole from Fire Emblem Heroes. And since there is so much of Zelda to love, we're just gonna count her as 2. And then we'll finish off with Iker, who seems to be giving a review of this game in real time. And that is not including all of the other art that is featured in the menus and everywhere else. I don't know where that could have come from. It may very well be stolen as well. Honestly, that was a lot more fun than the actual game. Though, after you've been through all of this, you've pretty much seen everything this game has to offer. I mean, I guess there is still PvP, but I've gotten word that that may not be so great after all. So I think it's time to wrap it up when it comes to Hero Emblem. And for those asking, it is about as much fun as talking politics with a distant relative on Facebook. You know, those uncles who might be just a little tiny bit racist. All in all, though, there was one character who got me through all of this. You were the angel when I needed it the most. I'm gonna miss you, Spear Guy. I'm gonna miss you so much. And that's the end of Hero Emblem. But we have one more game to look at today. It's definitely a step up, so let's take a look into this fanfiction brought to life. Welcome one and all to Glory Emblem, in all of its fantastic jiggliness. Salute legend, Fire Emblem. I have a feeling the only salute I'm going to be making is to the bottle, if you get my meaning. Even in the loading screen, I'm starting to feel some weird vibes with these characters. They almost seem familiar, but I can't quite place where they're from. However, the live 2D art is quite impressive, so I will give you that one. After dealing with that last game, I'm just so happy to see actual gameplay, like something that I actually interact with and play. And just like that, we're going to start the story as well. We're introduced to Annie, who is totally legit. Don't think anything else about her. No, she is completely original, guys. However, it seems Annie is being bullied by a 12-year-old. I'm trying my best to summarize this right now, but in case you can't tell, it's a bit hard. So let's just get through this tutorial and... Wait a second. Wait a goddamn second. Are you kidding me right now? I hate to do this, but we have to pull up Emblem Legend. You remember the game that we played last video in this series? Yeah, well, here happens to be the same gameplay screen from its tutorial. Notice anything at all? The style of battle, the UI, even the dialogue. We're officially playing a mobile game that is a ripoff of another mobile game that was a ripoff of a legitimate mobile game. Oh god, we've reached it. We're at the singularity, where all ends are beginnings, and all beginnings are terrible ripoffs. Alright. Alright, let's just hold this in. Let's try to get through this. Deep breaths, deep breaths. So since this is just a ripoff of another ripoff, I think it would be fun to compare and contrast. See if anything has really improved since we last saw this iteration. The story sure hasn't, I can tell you that right from the get-go. The biggest change is replacing several characters. Take for example Emblem Legend, which had Sir, who was a big baddie from Fire Emblem Heroes, now replaced with a much smaller but possibly more evil Little Debbie. I mean, just try to have one fudge round, folks. You can't do it. You just can't do it. The tutorial plays out almost exactly the same, although this time with characters who are strange amalgamations of other copywritten properties, or flat out stolen from other lesser-known mobile games, and sometimes just not changed at all. If this tutorial is meant to give you an idea of what kind of game this is, let's just put it this way. If Fire Emblem Heroes is the designer brand, Glory Emblem is the Chinatown equivalent found in the back alley shops. Enough with the tutorial, let's get through this and through the intro, which, by the way, they didn't bother to even change. After the tutorial in Emblem Legend, you met a more romanticized version of the character Eliwood. He was quite handsome, so I just can't wait to see what they do. Ooh. Oh god, his hand! I can't stop looking at it. Well, either way, say goodbye to Eliwood and hello to Edward. He's going to be our first usable character outside of the tutorial. And he's probably pretty cool at parties with that, party trick that he has there. Alright, let's stop focusing on the negatives, and instead, as we go through the rest of these tutorials, let's talk about what we find that's good in this game. Hopefully there's something good in this game. Please have something good in this game. First, I will say there are some improvements to the world map system over Emblem Legend. In fact, it's actually quite slick now, and I kinda wish I had this sort of system in other mobile games. They also improved the castle screen, which before, to put it lightly, was just an absolute eyesore. Now though, it's a JPEG with dubious origins, so it doesn't hurt me physically, just morally. I also enjoy some of the touch-ups that they've done when it comes to the battle screen. Cavalier characters, for instance, actually rush forward a fair distance before they actually attack. It's kinda cool. It shows me that there is some talent here. But sadly, all of this is mired just by the simple fact that all of this is just from saluting a game that they don't actually own. And well, things don't really improve from here on out. The gameplay is the same basic rock, paper, scissors system that you may remember from Fire Emblem Heroes. And while the UI is better, it's still a massive mess. There's still so much text clipping despite the fact that they have their own custom UI. Add to the fact that they also kept over the Emblem Legend's additional stats, which by the way continue to make no sense, and I'm not really going to bother trying to decipher that mystery. So let's get back to story instead. As we continue to travel around the world, we eventually add more characters to our roster, but why can't you get it off the screen? Hands-on problems aside, trying to understand this story is next to impossible. You'd have better luck reading the entirety of Homestuck. So as I continue my downward spiral into insanity, I decided to make a supercut of all the characters that they've altered from Fire Emblem. So let's hop to it. I love Takumi, but I have to say, Takumi looks a lot less whiny this time around. Camilla is undergoing one of those moments in life. You know, the one where you dye your hair and insist your name is something else. I'd say midlife crisis, but this is more of a quarter-life crisis. Our boy Barst is looking pretty angry. That anger might stem from the fact that his name is now Jenkin. What happened to Dorcas? I'd like to know that myself. Donald is no longer wearing his pot helmet, but that might be because it seems like it was made to contain some form of alien life form that is his hair. But he still retains that weird fighting style that he has, so A+, guys. You guys are not even trying at this point anymore, are you? Meanwhile, Titania has been renamed Raymond, and then renamed once again to Marcia. But the biggest, best portion of this all is... he's... beautiful. Oh my god, I've truly seen the face of God, and the best part? He's free. This weird fusion of Robin and Reinhard, why didn't you start with him first? No, seriously, it's actually sold me on your video game, and legitimately made my day better. Well, until I got bored 5 minutes later. So along with Robinson being introduced, they also introduce you to the summoning system. And just like everything else in this game, it's a weird amalgamation too. You can summon one character or you can summon 5 altogether and get a discount. And just like in Heroes, there are some variations when it comes to stats, only this one, it's much more blatant about which ones you get. Note the letter rank when I summon this character who totally isn't Arvis. Trust me guys, he's got a white cape. The other one has a black cape. Also, you named him Sjorja. And just like any other game when it comes to summoning, don't worry, there is power creep. Because that exists here too, but it's kind of funny when you think about it because this is a lot more conservative than Heroes ever has been. Honestly, summoning isn't terrible in this game, it's just, well, why bother? I mean, I could spend $20 on this value pack, but I think I'll pass. Thanks though. And after going through all that summoning and thinking about what characters we had, there was a bit of a conundrum. Story got boring and there wasn't much else to do outside of leveling. So when the option to take part in PvP popped up, I was like, sign me up. And wouldn't you know it, surprise! It's the exact same arena as in Fire Emblem Heroes. Shocker. So you know what? If you're not going to bother actually putting in content in this game, I'm done. This is the end. It's time to have a talk, folks. I am not exactly sure what I expected from this. Since this is basically an Echo Fighter from another game, I guess it's only fitting that I echo the same sentiments I made when it came to Emblem Legend. Whoever has made this one and the previous iteration does possess some talent. Yes, it's really easy just to pop jokes at their expense. However, things like the live 2D art and the map system are honestly pretty nice. It's fluid and in some cases even beautiful. They even fixed some of the issues that I had with their last attempt. That of course goes along with my assumption that this is the person who made Emblem Legend before this. The issue I take, however, is in wasting their talent. I made it clear before that there is someone within this team that is an artist in some form. That if they focused on an original creation, they could really make a living off of it. Sadly, this is not at all what I meant. Because some of these characters are just color changes. Others seem to be Frankensteins. Very few to none look to be original characters. Wasting talent to make a cheap buck, I thought we only did that on this channel. In all seriousness, the fact that this happened once again has shown me that maybe they don't really care to perfect their art, and instead wish to focus more on trying to make money off the hard work of others. You have put so much effort into making elaborate pieces, while also trying to replicate someone else's work. And yet for some reason, you can't make anything of your own. So I guess I'll have to be the parent in this situation. I'm not mad, I'm just sorely disappointed. Not to say that I was expecting anything amazing from this, but I still see that flicker of style. It's just a shame that you can't seem to see the same. And that, my friends, was Glory Emblem. A strange continuation to a story I started so many months ago. I like to imagine, when it comes to people, that they can better themselves from what they are. Maybe someday in the future this person, whoever they are, will actually get to that point. But all I really know is that my hands really, really hurt. Specifically this. Oh, that doesn't look good. Hey there, folks. I hope you're doing well. I just want to say thank you so much for sticking through the entire video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe leave a like. Go check out the rest of the series. I made a little playlist for you to click on the sides. And just a little bit of warning, the first few episodes are kind of bad when it comes to production. Now, for those who are asking where I've been, well, I'm just gonna say I've been pretty sick, and thankfully it seems everything is getting a lot better. But, well, hopefully you'll be seeing more of me very, very soon. I just figured I would tell you that real quick. Now, before we actually leave this video, we have a few thanks to give to several people who contributed to this video. So, first up, I want to say thank you to Catti, who drew this lovely figure that you're seeing on the screen right now. And I also need to thank my background artist, Cyan. He also did the thumbnail for this video. Then we need to thank Kyle. He made that spectacular Batman sprite that you saw in the video, and I just have to say, thank you so much for doing that. You really do listen to some of my stupid requests, just saying. And then finally, we have two more people. We have Kimberly Tierney, who you may know as the voice, well, previous voice of FEH. She actually helped me balance out the audio and do a little bit of tweaking here and there, so really thanks for that. And then finally, I need to thank Schwan. I hope I'm saying their name correctly. I'm very sorry if I get it wrong, but they let me use their footage of a Grand Hero battle from Fire Emblem Heroes just to give you some comparison when it came to Ebonics, the character, not the dialect, but either way. So go check them out in the description below, and well, that's about it, guys. I will catch you all very soon. If you enjoyed everything that you saw here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You're going to be hearing a lot more from me very soon. For now, though, folks, catch you later.